we're going to learn how to use Blender to create a multicolor 3D print. We're teaching this from a beginner's perspective with virtually zero knowledge. You'll use Blender to create this key ring and also learn how to split this in your slicer and create the 3D printed output. So let's have a look how we will do this. So I've already opened Blender and we got the default cube in the middle. To start the project, we're going to change the unit scale to millimeters. If I click on the cube and look to the right, we can access the flyout bar by this arrow here, or by pressing N on the keyboard to open and close the flyout bar. If we look at the dimensions, we see the X, Y, and Z dimensions are 2 meters. Let's change this by going to the Scene tab and coming into the units. We open that up, we can see the unit system is set to metric at the moment. Yours might be set to none. Just set this to metric and then we can look down for the length. At the moment it's meters. Let's change this to millimeters. If we look back to our cube, we can see the dimensions has changed. We have now 2000 millimeters. We need to set the unit scale. And for millimeters, we just change this by 0.001. This divides the default Blender unit, which is 1 meter, by 1000, effectively making it equal to 1 millimeter. Let's hit enter. There are some other settings that we can change, but this is sufficient for this project. Dimensions now are 2 millimeters. If we don't have this cube, let's say if we click on it, right click and hit delete, then we can add it. Come up to add, come to mesh and select cube. Dimensions of the cube are 2000 millimeters at the moment. So I'm just going to change this to 2. Now we have our base shape. Let's add the dimensions for our nameplate. The cube is selected. I can change the dimensions. The X I'm going to change to 20. The Y I'm changing to 100. And the Z I'm changing to 3. We'll just hit enter. Now I can zoom out. I'm going to use the icon up here and we have the basis for our keychain. For 3D printing, it helps to position the model so it sits directly on the build plate. For this, we'll set the Z location to half the height of the object. We don't have to do this. It can be adjusted in our slicer, but this just simplifies our modeling. I'm going to look straight ahead on the X-axis. The Y determines the base of where this is going to be. If we make sure a rectangle is selected and look to the right, we have the X, Y, and Z location. Now we need to set the Z to half the height, 1.5 millimeters. And we just click in another field. And we see that this has moved upwards. That's angle our view. And now we can add the hole. To do this, we're going to add another mesh. Come up to add, come to mesh, and select cylinder. The cylinder has come in at 2000 millimeters. Let's set the dimensions to around about 15 millimeters for each of the X, Y, and Z. Now let's move the cylinder to the left to around about here. I'm going to use the move tool. Click on that. By selecting one of these arrows, click and hold and move this into position. Notice the Y moves here, so we can be a bit more accurate. Let's say -35. Once we're happy with the position, we can add something called a boolean modifier to remove this cylinder from this shape. Note that the cylinder protrudes out the top and bottom. When this is removed from the rectangle, it will leave a hole. I'm going to add the boolean modifier to the rectangle. This is the one I want to affect. We select the rectangle, come over to the right hand side, and you'll see a spanner or a wrench icon. If we click on that, we can add a modifier. When we add a modifier, come down to generate and come over to boolean. In the modifiers, we see the boolean modifier has been added. It's automatically set to difference and we need an object to remove. We come into the object, select the eyedropper, and then select the cylinder. We can see it's saying object cylinder. We click that, cylinder gets added to the object. Also, if we drop this down, we can select it from the drop down. At the moment, it doesn't look like anything's happened. This is because the cylinder is still visible. If we hide the cylinder by clicking on the eye icon, we now see a hole has been added to our rectangle. The modifier hasn't been applied yet. We can still make modifications to it. For instance, if I come into the cylinder and look at the dimensions and set this to 10, we can modify the hole and also change its location. We'll apply the modifiers at the end. Next, we're going to add the text. Come out to add and come down to text. The text has been added, but it's extremely small at the moment. Let's change the dimensions and set the X to 20, the Y to 20, and we'll leave the Z as it is. At the moment, the text is round the wrong way. So let's come over to the tool on the left, the rotate tool, and rotate it along the Z by click and dragging. If I hold down the Control key, I have different options for my rotate. So here I can snap to intervals. Once I'm happy, just release and our text is in position. Next, I can move and move the text to the position I want. I'm going to scale this further later. Let's edit our text. To do this, we need to be in edit mode. If we come to the top, we see we're in object mode. If I drop this down, we can select edit mode. Here I can start typing the text, and I'm just going to add the words Blender. Text itself is underneath, as you can see it here. So we may want to move this before we start typing. Let's come out of edit mode and back into object mode. Select the move tool, and we can set its location. Let's just pull this up. We're aiming for the text to be on top of the base. So we need to set the Z position to the height of the base. If we go further, we're going to get an error in the slicer because both parts will be disconnected. So let's set the Z location to 3, the same height as the rectangle. Because we haven't converted this to a mesh yet, we can go back into edit mode when the text is selected and edit the text. Coming out of edit mode, back to object mode, allows us to move and scale the text. So let's use the scale, and we'll scale this into position. Using the draggers either side. I can use the transform tool, and let's look down from the Z. And this gives me multiple options. So I can adjust the rotation, the position, and the scale. Once I'm happy, I can convert this to a mesh. So first of all, we must make sure it's selected. If we can't see it, we select it from the panel. Notice the icon shows text. Let's convert this object, convert to a mesh. On the right hand side now, we can see it's a mesh. This means that we can come over into edit mode, drop this down into edit mode. We can select all of the mesh by hitting A on the keyboard or coming up to select and selecting all. And if we look to the left hand side here, we have the extrude region. If I click that, this allows me to extrude. So I'm going to look from the X. I'm going to click on the plus sign and bring this up to extrude. See on the right hand side, that's showing the extrusion here. So we can change this, let's say to about 3, and hit enter. Once we're happy, we can come out of edit mode to object mode. And we'll just click off. We can see we have the base plate and the text. These are two separate objects at the moment. Look to the right hand side here, we have the cube or the base plate and the text. And for multicolor printing, this is what you need. If I fuse these together with a boolean, we won't be able to separate them in our slicer. I'm going to hide the camera and the light. we just have the text and the cube visible. We can save our project using Ctrl S or File Save. And now I can export this for 3D printing. Remember, they're not connected. Let's come up to File and Export. I'm going to pick STL, and this will export the visible objects, so the text and the cube. The Apply Modifiers is checked. So remember, we added the cylinder and used a boolean operation. This will apply that modifier to it. Next, we select Export STL, and we've exported our project ready for 3D printing. I'm now going to load my project into the slicer, assign the colors, and then produce a 3D print. I'm using the Anycubic Slicer next, but this will be a similar process for the slicer that you'll be using. Let's create a new project. Go to File, Import, and import my file. Select the STL, and the STL has been added. First of all, let's check to make sure that's sitting on our plate. If not, there are tools to position it. And now let's assign the colors. Select our model, and then right click, and there should be an option like split. I'm going to pick split to parts. On the left hand side, we see we have global and objects. We can see it's been split down to the individual objects, one for each letter. The overall color, I'm going to right click, change filament, and set that to white. And then I'm going to pick all of the letters, holding down Shift or Control if they're not linear positioned. And then I'm going to right click, set filament for selected, and we'll select red. I can now slice, and it's now ready for 3D printing. Remember, we can adjust quality, strength, and speed to speed up our prints. We can now send it to our printer. And start the print. And we have the finished result. This tutorial has taken you from the beginning to the end for a very simple multicolored print. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then you can do so via my Ko-Fi page. That's at ko-fi.com/MJ3D Any donations will be used to help to expand the channel. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.